guys, it's Seun Okumi and welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the title, in this video today I'll be showing you guys how I did this sew-in. Yes, this is a sew-in with absolutely zero leave outs, and people literally think that this is my real hair. Like whenever I go out in public, even though this hair is actually really long, if you guys have been following me since the very beginning, sew-ins are my thing. They've always been my thing, but I wanted to see if there's a way that I could have no leave out so I don't have to constantly putting heat on my natural hair. So I've been literally working on this for like 2 years, trying to go through my own trial and error to find a really good technique. It's really cool that I don't have to use leave out, so I wanted to share this technique with you guys, and I hope this changes your life as much as it has been changing my life. People literally think that this is my real hair and I don't even have a leave out, which is so crazy to me. But yeah. Let's just get right into this. So the hair that I'm using is kinky straight texture. You want to get it in kinky straight to achieve this look that I did, and then it's from Curls Queen, and I got it in 2 bundles. With kinky straight hair, one thing about it, as you can see on the left is how the hair naturally came in. On the right is after I had washed and blow dried it. So whenever you're blow drying it after you wash it, brush through the hair as you blow dry it to get rid of some of those crimps. Kinky straight hair tends to come with those crimps, but you can blow dry it to give it more of that natural look. And right there, I was just showing you guys how long this hair was. I'll put the inches on the screen here, but usually I get kinky straight hair. I try to overshoot because a lot of companies, they make their kinky straight hair, it's never full at the ends, but this hair, as you saw, was super thick all the way down, so it was actually a little bit, it was very long, which was good. But yeah, that was the hair. Right now I'm showing you how I'm prepping my hair to do the sew-in. So in the corner there, you can see the braiding pattern that I'm using, and that is what I'm going to use for the entirety of my head. I always use the same braiding pattern for a sew-in, and those parts that are highlighted in orange, those are the parts that you have the option of leaving out leave out. Today, as you know, we won't be having any leave out. But before I finished doing all this, the entire braiding pattern, I went ahead and, because I was just excited to try out this technique, I went ahead and started doing the no leave out section of this whole install, just because I really wanted to. This is actually my first time trying it out, so I was just really excited to try it out before I couldn't finish twisting up my hair. Just wanted to quickly make sure that this wouldn't be a fail, that this crochet could actually match the human hair sew-in. But as you can tell, without me even doing that much to the crochet hair, it's already looking like a pretty good match with the sew-in hair. So I got really excited. So now I'm going to explain exactly what I'm doing to create our faux leave out. So right now I'm using this Cuban twist kinky crochet hair. And if you're new to crocheting is very simple. You grab a crochet hook, stick it up from under your twist or your braid, latch on the hair, pull it through, and then take half of that piece of the crochet hair, latch that on, and pull just that half through. And so that other half can cover up that knot. And then the rest of the hair falls on top of the knot and the braid and creates an invisible part. I'm going to show you one more time. You go up from under your braid or your twist, you latch on the hair, pull it through, and then grab half of the hair to pull through, tie it, and then use the other half to cover up the knot. And it's literally that simple. If you guys, so I feel like my 2 most popular hairstyles are crochet and sew-in. So it's really nice to be able to combine the 2 using the magic of a crochet part with the benefits of a sew-in. In the past, I have used my no leave out crochet method with human hair, but this time I decided to do it with crochet hair, specifically because there is something about the look of this synthetic crochet hair. If you guys remember this video, I feel like this video shook the world, if I may say so myself. Over 40 million people saw it just on my platform, but it was reposted like over 100 times, and millions of people were watching it on other people's platforms as well. But I feel like that just went to show the entire world the magic of crochet. I'll post this on my shorts if you haven't seen that video, but I was just pretending to cut off my crochet hair, but everyone freaked out because they thought it was real, because crochet hair, this crochet hair, like this kinky type of crochet hair, looks so unbelievably real. So I really wanted to see if it was possible for me to get the magic of that invisible crochet part, but matched with a human hair sew-in that was straighter and longer. And yes, as you guys will continue to see through this video, we are able to do that. So as you saw, I twisted up that second piece that is for the other half of the invisible part. And then to reiterate, you want to make sure that you're going up from under where you want the part to be with your crochet hook, latching on the hair, and then pulling through only half of the hair, tying it so that the other half can fall over to create your invisible part. And with that piece, I kind of created a little bit too much space in between. So I went back in between and did another crochet right in between that to fill that in. And the sizes of the pieces that I'm using, the crochet hair, this equal shake and go hair, it comes already pre-sectioned, and the sections that it already comes in, I'm just dividing each of those sections in half. And that's how big each of my sections are that I'm using to crochet. So I'm just continuing through the rest of this invisible part to finish up our faux leave out section. Literally no amount of close inspection by anyone would be able to tell that this isn't my hair. It's so crazy. So now we just have to make sure that it looks good with the human hair. I think it'll look good. I think this is gonna be how I do my sew-ins from now on. Pretty sure, because this is just, I mean, 40 million of you already saw it. How believable it looks. So just transferring it on to my sew-ins. So let me just finish this and then I'll begin with the actual sewing. But as you're watching me do, I'm just finishing up the flat twist to finish up my pattern. And with the rest of my hair, you just want to get the rest of your hair as flat as possible so you can crochet it in between your braids or your twists, or you can bobby pin it down. Now the fun part, the sewing part. So to begin, you want to thread your needle. You can get needle and thread, only get it from the beauty supply store, the one made specifically for hair. You thread your needle and then tie it at the end to have a threaded needle to work with. I always like to position my hair by bobby pinning it in place so it's easier to work with. Now the process of sewing. The way you want to sew to hold your weft in place is you want to go up under the weft and under the braid, push the needle through, but before pulling it all the way through, you want to open up the thread right there before you have your knot, and you want to loop the needle through the thread and then pull it, and that's what creates your sew. So that's what holds the weft in place. And I'm going to do a second one. As you can see, I did it. It's not at the very, very beginning of that weft. So we're going to do another stitch that's closer to the beginning of the weft and the beginning of the braid. So we're going to go up from under the weft and the braid, go through. But before pulling it all the way through, you want to loop it through that loop there. Put the needle through that loop and then pull on it. And that's what will secure your weft. So we're going to go again. Go up under the weft and the braid. Then before pulling your needle through, you just want to loop the thread around the needle. And that's how you sew. And that's how you sew your weft onto your braid. If you've never known how to do a sew-in, it's actually very, very simple. So now I'm going to continue and show you how I do that with this hair. So I start by sewing along the bottom perimeter. For your very first track, you want to sew along the bottom perimeter. And as I'm sewing down, I'm grabbing in any of the twists, like the ends of the twists that are in that area, just so that everything will be sewed down together. So instead of sewing down the ends of my twist before, I'm just kind of gathering them and sewing them into now while I'm sewing everything else, sewing the weft on. So that's a way to help get everything down as well. And then once I've reached the end of that perimeter of the row, I then flip the hair over to continue sewing down. You don't want to go too high up. I actually ended up redoing this part later because the hair might fall too much in your face. So you can go ahead and flip it over before, like around where your ears are. And then you just want to continue sewing. And then once you start to run out of thread, you want to sew and then loop it around like a good 3 times. And then cut off the needle and then tie the ends, so just to make sure that everything is secure. And then cut off any excess thread, and then you can start a new needle and thread and continue sewing in the same way. And when sewing with these particular bundles, you do want to space out the track pretty high above the last track that you did, because for this, if you're using this hair that I'm using from Curls Queen, because the way that these wefts are constructed, they're constructed a little bit differently than hair that I've used in the past for sew-ins, but there's a lot of hair on the weft, but the weft itself is very short. So if you don't space your wefts out enough, like the tracks in between, you will run out of wefts. It only comes in 2 bundles, which you're like, 2 bundles, is that it? But no, as you guys will see, this hair is a lot. Like, it's actually extremely thick, and it's only 2 bundles, which is, again, part of the reason why I say you need to space it out. I did like almost 2 inches in between each track. But it does make the whole sewing process very quick, because as you can see, we're already pretty much done. And what I'm doing at the very end is, so I knew I wanted the weft to end right at the end of my hair. I didn't want to flip it over there at the front. So I started sewing from the end, and then the excess weft, I just kind of folded over and laid down in the back so that it could be folded over in the back rather than folding it down in the front and risking it being a little bit more bulky in the front. It was just more convenient to allow the weft to end at the front and then sew down that excess there in the back by flipping it over. So that's what you're seeing me doing right here. And then we are done. It's all coming together. Now it's time to blend this crochet here in with the sew-in here. So at first I was like, maybe if I just brush out the hair, that will be fine. Maybe I don't need to flat iron it, but I did end up going in and flat ironing it. But right now, as you can see, I'm just brushing it down to see what we're working with. Then I proceeded to flat iron, not just the crochet here, but I'm flat ironing the actual sew-in hair as well, because the hair, like I said, it's a lot of hair. So I wanted to make it a little bit less poofy. So I was flat ironing the sew-in hair, and then as you just saw me go through one pass, I'm also now flat ironing the crochet hair. So if you didn't know, you can actually put heat on synthetic crochet hair, at least this hair, if you use the same one. But it can melt if the heat, as you can see, it's looking so good. It's looking really good already. But as I was saying, it can melt if the heat is too high. So, which I have melted crochet hair on accident in the past. But the heat that I'm using with my flat iron at this time is 200 degrees. And I'm just going through the hair and flat ironing it to get it to be less poofy and kinky. And I also noticed that you could see some of the tracks in the back there. I didn't fully crochet enough onto the back. So right now I am going in and crocheting and using a mirror in the back to try and help myself to see what's going on there in the back, and crocheting it along that back, like the very end of the part, so that it can properly cover that curvature in the back. And yeah, I continued, did that, brushed it out, flat ironed the hair a little bit more, and guys, I feel like I don't even really need to say much. I feel like the the footage just says it all. One thing, like I said, I was kind of worried about, or I just didn't know if the synthetic hair would match the human hair that well, but as you can see, it matches so well, and it's so amazing how well the synthetic hair also takes heat. Now that I know you can do so much with crochet, prepare to be sick of me. I'll be adding crochet into everything and mixing it in with my human hair, because guys, this looks so real. You cannot tell me that is not my leave out. This crochet portion is my leave out, and it blends in so well. Like it's literally undetectable. I honestly very obsessed with this hair. And fun fact, I'm doing this voiceover way down the line. I have tried this method on silky straight hair, and yes, it works. I'll film next time I do it. But yeah, you can do a lot with crochet hair, and you can flat iron it to get it to your desire while keeping the actual root. Something about it being kinky from the root is what makes it look really natural, but then you can straighten it pretty close to the root to still make it look as straight or as flat as you want it to, and then blend it in with whatever hair that you're using. And the color that you use also matters. I ended up using color 2. You can even mix different colors to make sure it's an exact match. And yeah, I'm just so obsessed. I can go out in the rain and not have to worry. Like, it's always in place. In terms of the kinky straight hair that I'm using, like the human hair, it added some curls. One thing about kinky straight hair, it doesn't really hold the curl. So the curls fall, but if you wanted to hold a curl, I've also flexi rodded this hair, and it holds a curl better with flexi rods, but you can also get your loose effortless curls that fall like this as well. But yeah, and in terms of this hair specifically, this kinky straight hair from Curls Queen, I've been wearing it for a while. I would say I really like okay, pros, the hair is very thick, true to length, it doesn't tangle. Cons, it sheds, but overall this hair was very nice and looked extremely natural, so I cannot complain. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I've been having this hair in for like over a month now, so I've been able to wear it for a while. As I'm filming this right now, it's been a while since I filmed the install tutorial, and it's still holding up really well. As you can see, I feel like as more time goes by, it just looks more and more natural, which I really love. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you try it. If you try it, definitely tag me or give me some credit, because I feel like this technique is about to become very popular. So make sure you give me credit for discovering this. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.